Shalom, welcome to HAZE Israel. On today's program, we'll continue our series, Israel at War. We will share today about ministry during war and much more. Stay tuned. Shalom, we're here at our HAZE Israel studios in Jerusalem, and we're continuing our series, Israel at War. I'm asked all the time, what is it like to work in ministry during the war? And also people want to know, what are we doing during this time? So today I'm going to share with you about ministry during war. First of all, as Israeli believers in the land, during war, we need to be very aware that we are here for such a time as this. In the midst of war, we're called to serve and minister in this pivotal moment in time. Our vision and goals in ministry do not change during war, but how we adapt and rise to the occasion becomes increasingly important and unique to this season. We're experiencing the worst attack in Israel in modern history. HAZE Israel Ministries, founded here almost 50 years ago, is not new to war in Israel, and we're ready to respond to the challenges because of our deeply established work as Israeli believers with a unique history in the land. Having gone through many years of wars and conflicts in the past helps us to act when needed. As we talk about war, I know many people in other countries can't relate to what's happening here in Israel. Many times when a country sends its soldiers to fight, the war is not in their own country. America, for example, has been in various wars, many of which have been outside of their own homeland. So because of the needs that we have now during war, we're involved in many activities that we normally wouldn't be involved in. But the biggest difference is not just what we're doing differently during war, but is what we're dealing with beyond the physical needs, which is everyone's spiritual, mental, and emotional state during the war. We have to take these things into consideration. In ministry, we have to make sure that people we serve with are in a good place in their inner self, and not to just send them out to save the world, but we must also attend to the needs and take care of those in ministry and in their families. This is always important, but during war, it becomes increasingly challenging and difficult. Before I share more about ministry during war, I want you to understand what we're dealing with here as a nation, and then I think you'll see how our strategy to reach Israel in wartime makes sense. In Israel, there are people in very different circumstances right now. There are Israeli soldiers directly involved in the war, and it's their whole life right now, and there's no way around it. They are 100% focused on winning the war. And there are Israelis not in the army, but who are greatly affected by the war. There are Israeli evacuees who are refugees of war, and because of the invasion by Hamas and rocket attacks into various areas, there are over 200,000 Israeli civilians who don't have a home. There are hundreds of thousands of families of soldiers, millions of Israelis whose lives are now turned upside down. So a huge number of Israelis are trying to readjust their lives and function with some kind of normalcy. Even in the midst of war, we hope and understand that this is just a temporarily dysfunctional way of living. And anyone who has served and ministered in any kind of capacity to others knows that it's already difficult to minister. You're always wrestling through issues and helping to overcome struggles. And ministry is always a balancing act. It's like trying to juggle while balancing on a ball. And for those of us in ministry during the war in Israel, it's like doing the same thing, this same balancing act, but in the middle of a tornado. It becomes very difficult to operate in the midst of a storm. Ministering during war is an intense and at times a very unpredictable experience. So we're constantly on the lookout for unique situations, projects, and certain needs that require immediate attention. Doing ministry in war is also very powerful, and we can see the Lord moving in miraculous ways. As we're able to respond quickly to critical needs, we're also seeing open doors for us to share a new narrative about who we are as believers in the land. There have always been those against us. There has always been such animosity and misunderstanding among Israelis towards believers. But now Israelis are realizing that we're on their side and that we're together with them. And many Israeli believers are serving in the military and even giving their lives as an ultimate sacrifice for the security of our nation. So like never before, many of our people here are embracing Messianic Jews. Israeli believers are serving and ministering to our people here in Israel for such a time as this. When we are looking at all the needs, it's just so great right now. It's just so overwhelming. And so we decided to focus on 5 main areas in which we felt we could have a significant impact. The first is what we call Hasbara in Hebrew. So what's interesting is that no other country in the world has to justify its actions on the level that Israel does. And so we do it so much that there's actually a word that we use in Hebrew to describe the explaining of our need to defend ourselves and to defend our own existence to the outside world. Hasbara literally means to explain. And it's not for our own people here in Israel, it's for the international community, where we try to explain certain dynamics that the outside world does not understand. We're explaining why we're doing what we're doing to survive. It's more than just explaining and basically communicating. It's telling the truth about what is happening here in Israel. And as believers, we want to explain to Christians around the world what the Lord is saying in Scripture about Israel so that they can fulfill their destiny to support and love Israel, especially in difficult times. And when the world is coming against Israel, we need the Christians around the world to stand with Israel. This is why we put a lot of effort in communicating on social media, TV, radio, and all kinds of media telling what is really happening here in Israel. And also doing productions like this program right now that you're watching that we're covering Israel at war. Another area of focus is the education of children. There are so many displaced children now in Israel that has become a crisis. It's so important for our children to continue having as much normalcy in this war as possible. And education is one of those things that can offer some sort of stability and framework in which they can learn with their friends and have somewhere for their minds to go mentally and emotionally beyond war and beyond the many horrors that these children have witnessed. This goes a long way in helping them experience something different than long-term trauma. In order to help in this area of education, Ma'oz Israel helped build a school in the city of Ra'anana, just outside of Tel Aviv. This school was specifically built to help kids who suffered from the attacks of October 7th and who were later evacuated to Ra'anana. We partnered with the mayor and the city of Ra'anana to build a new school to house these children who are refugees of war. They've built multiple bomb shelters in the schools areas to make sure that everyone has a safe place to go within 10 seconds of their location. By having several bomb shelters around the school, it makes the parents feel confident in sending their children to school because they're so close to safety. And the children have now a framework of safety which gives them a sense of security and normalcy in their life.
Shalom, we are at the Eitan Educational Center for the children of evacuees from the northern and southern border. We've been here with the children since December when the center was built. There was a very large group of evacuees from here from Sderot. There were kids in kindergarten, elementary, and high school. The people from Sderot returned home a few weeks ago. And we now have families from Kiryat Shmona. The parents also, as you can see, come here every day. There are specialty classes, workshops, treatments, games. personal tutoring, classes for parents as well, English class for parents, sports classes, Pilates, everything you could ask for. We adjust ourselves according to the needs on the ground in cooperation with the Ra'anana municipality, the Ministry of Education, and of course, Ma'oz Israel, who are very, very helpful to us. The children are happy here.
What happened here in recent months since the 7th of October, when evacuees from both the south and the north searched for a safe place to stay? They came to Ra'anana. We put them in hotels here. We opened the school near the hotel together with the Ministry of Education, so these kids would feel safe and have the stability of a daily school routine. At the moment, the children of Kiryat Shmona are here. Kiryat Shmona is being bombed. Kiryat Shmona is under assault every day. And that is why the children are here, in a safe place in Ra'anana. We wrap the kids and their parents in a loving environment. And when I step outside now from this interview and I see them sitting there in the yard talking and their kids playing with local kids, it's exciting. Because we are a very organized municipality, we are able to move quickly. With help from the Ministry of Education and the Ra'anana Foundation that helped us throughout the whole process. We zoned and prepared the land and brought prefab structures with trucks. We took care of environmental issues and landscaping. I think the whole process took a month and a half, and the school was ready. And today, in the afternoons, it is also used as a community center, where both Ra'anana children and evacuee children come. And when they are together in this dynamic, you feel the connection, you feel the commitment that we are one people. So this is an opportunity to say thank you to Ma'oz Israel. It's not a given that these things just happen. I think it shows our resilience as the people of Israel, our resilience that we all understand the magnitude of the hour. And I'm proud of your foundation, Ma'oz Israel. We embrace you, we love you. Proud of your team, we will continue to work together because I think this is what unites us. And this is what shows that the people of Israel live.
Beyond the school in Ra'anana that we started, we helped supply an entire school in Nazareth with everything they needed to get started. Ma'oz partners have made it possible to help hundreds of children with their educational needs in cities all over Israel, from north to the south in Israel. Children now can continue learning, and they have some hope during this terrible time of war. The third area we have focused on is helping the needs of the soldiers, especially during the first few months of the war. This has been critical, so vital. I personally volunteered to help the Army, serving at military bases, and many others like me were doing everything we could to help. I saw firsthand the massive needs of the soldiers. After the attacks on October 7th, overnight, hundreds of thousands of Israelis, just everyday men and women, were called to reservist Army duty, and their needs became huge. I've been asked quite a few times by people from outside of Israel, why would we need to help soldiers? Don't they get everything they need from the government and from the military? And the answer is simple. Normally soldiers have everything they need, but Israel has never had to call so many people up to serve at once. There just wasn't enough basic supplies to go around. The Army supplies soldiers with weapons and military equipment, but there are so many things needed beyond this, which were just lacking. And our ministry was able to provide thousands of soldiers with basic needs. We've given thousands of coats, jackets, gloves. We've given ceramic bulletproof vests, lots of shoes and boots, and food and more. We even provided solar-powered battery chargers to help soldiers keep their phones charged so that they call their loved ones and tell them that they're okay. And we're so happy that we've been able to give so much to help our precious soldiers so they could function in a better way. It's really the least we could do to help.
Hi, Kobe Ferguson with Ma'oz Israel. We're on our way now to the southern Jordan border. We've been to Lebanon, we've been to the Gaza border. Now we're going to bring some warm fleece jackets to some amazing soldiers And we're also bringing them shoes because of the situation. They have a lack of shoes that they can wear. These are tactical certified shoes. Thank you to our Miles Israel team. Thank you to our donors helping us bring some amazing equipment and supplies. Let's go. So we're here at a special army base down on the border of Jordan. We're seeing a very special friend of ours, Tim. He's not just one of our best friends, he's the head of HAZE Media.
Thank you, guys.
All of us friends here in Dude 9271, thank you so much for your generous presence of these amazing jackets and amazing hunting shoes.
Thank you.
Another area in which we realized we could make a significant impact is in the area of agriculture. Our team has been going down to the southern areas of Israel affected by the attacks of October 7th. These are farms and agricultural businesses which supply Israel with a huge amount of their food. And as we mentioned on our previous program, these areas have been devastated by the attacks on Israel. As we are dealing with a growing food crisis now in Israel, we're doing all we can to help, and we're also trying our best to raise awareness to this problem. And plans are being made to bring more volunteers from all over the world to assist our amazing Israeli farmers who are actually unsung heroes in this time. There are so many issues which are not being addressed internationally. Most people around the world aren't even aware of Israel's ongoing needs right now, but we must keep doing all we can. And I encourage you, if you're watching now, get involved and make a difference. We are only now beginning to assess the devastating effects of the attacks on Israel. For years to come, we'll continue to help rebuilding the areas in southern Israel, and we've already begun to work with other organizations on major plans to rebuild entire villages. And finally, the fifth area of focus is on those displaced refugees. We've helped a lot of these evacuees, and we've tried to help in a way that actually matters. We just went to the families and said, here's some coupons for food and for clothing or whatever you need, so that they could go and get what they actually need, because we know that every family is different. We didn't want to just give them generic boxes full of things that maybe they don't even need. We wanted them to be able to choose what is best for them. And beyond the needs that are seen due to war, HAZE Israel is continuing to help Israelis through our regular humanitarian outreach, because there's always people that have needs that have even nothing to do with the war, because life goes on. And we're going to continue to help those with medical and family emergencies, scholarships for students, helping businesses, and much more. So in one sense, we do continue to help in ways not related to the war, but in another sense, it's extremely important for people to continue to receive assistance, to continue to succeed in life, so that when the soldiers come back home, we have an economy and a functioning society for them to return to. And with your help, as you pray for us and as you generously support us here at HAZE Israel Ministries, we will continue to put our time, energy, and resources in the areas of communication, sharing the truth of God's heart and plan for Israel, helping our farmers, providing children with an education, helping refugees and other families affected by the war, and helping our precious men and women serving in the army. And as you reach out to help Israel in this time, just know you are empowering us as the hands and feet of Yeshua, reaching out to show God's love. So partner with us for such a time as this. And join us next time from Jerusalem, Israel. I'm Kobe Ferguson. Shalom, shalom.
Join us for the latest news updates, teachings, podcasts, music, and more, straight from the land of Israel to you.
Do you want to know more about the land of Israel, its people, its history, the modern state of Israel, the situation that's happening with Gaza, the Palestinians, and much, much more? Then subscribe to our channel right now to learn about all these things, and you'll get some special bonuses. Subscribe now.